Yeah, that's a good question. So I think what you put out to the world has a couple of different aspects to it. Obviously, there's the business marketing. Who is your ideal client? What is their problem that they have? What problem are you trying to solve?
Yes.
And how can you communicate that in a post on Instagram, a post on Facebook, or in a video, or in a podcast, right? So
this is something I've wanted to do for such a long time. Sit down with the most gorgeous, very switched-on lady, but the mic's all good. Because Amanda, you're doing fantastic things.
thank you, Chris.
And being able to see what you're doing from the outside, and being able to meet you a few times, and I just want to spend more time with you. I think you're absolutely fantastic. You're doing great quality work. So I truly appreciate it. So I really feel like you're leading from the front. Now, if anybody's living under a rock, they don't know who Amanda Bucci is right now. Who are you?
Thank you for that. Thank you for the intro. So I got my start what I'm doing now on Instagram and YouTube, being a fitness influencer, and I grew my audience through sharing my bikini competition preps, fitness stuff, teaching people how to be healthier, teaching people how to get more fit and lose weight and build muscle and all of that fun stuff. And now I am teaching other people how to make a living doing what they love online, whether they're a personal trainer or somebody else, and just teaching people how to be authentically themselves online in order to grow a business, in order to feel more fulfilled in your life. Because I feel like when more people can do what they love, the world is a happier place. People start being less bitter, jealous, negative. They get out of that scarcity mindset a little bit more. They're more supportive of others. They have better experiences in life, I think, because you get to have the opportunity to choose for yourself and to create your own life rather than just succumbing and being a victim to the societal norm.
I love that, and this is exactly what it's all about. So this show, I called it Breaking Success for one of two reasons. One, I want to help people break the definition of what the society's mold of success is, and then break the way we actually get there at the end of the day. And I think you're a phenomenal leader of both of those right now.
Thank you.
When it came to Amanda choosing who Amanda is, you creating, do you know what I mean, you choosing yourself right now, how did that evolve? How did that come, and how did that process look like?
I think I honestly, it's a lot of just accepting who I am. So I think that a lot of people don't spend enough time learning about who they are and then developing the skills that they decide to love. So I'm reading this book right now called Quiet, and it's all about how introverts can still be good leaders, although we reward the boisterous, loud, extroverted, outgoing people that are showing up in social situations and they're like, hello, I'm here, I'm gonna lead you. And then people like me are like, hello, I'm here, I wanna listen to what you have to say, and then let's talk about this and come to a conclusion together. That's my leadership style, and I've been learning things about myself, like taking personality tests, and although those don't always mean everything, and you can always adjust who you are by enhancing your skill set. So I was never a very good speaker, and I was never very outgoing, but because of what I've chosen to do, I felt like it's just my calling to enhance that part of myself. And although it's a struggle as someone who's naturally more introverted, and I'm gonna go retreat in my corner and not talk to people, and it's really hard to go to an expo where there's hundreds of people and there's lots of communication and stimulation, and I'm like, oh my God.
Do you feel completely fried after a day like today?
Oh my God, I'm already tired, but once I'm communicating, once we're here, and once we're here, I'm so good. But after we're done, I'm like, ugh.
I feel totally the same. This is my element. I want it. This situation's so good, and I can do so with it. Put me in a crowded room, and I shrink away, and I get.
You should read that book for sure.
Okay, I will. I definitely will.
Well, either way, continuing on what that book has done for me, and not just that book, but really learning about myself, really learning why I am the way that I am, and not taking my flaws or differences as how do I fix this, taking it as this is my strength, accepting it and allowing myself to lead with that. So because I've realized that I'm a really big sharer, and it's okay that I share a lot of things, it's okay that I feel really comfortable being vulnerable, and it's okay that I like to communicate with people and spend a lot of time on messaging because that's where I thrive. But you don't really normally know that you thrive communicating with people and messaging them until you do it. So I've developed myself and becoming who I am now from actually just doing the thing. So I got on Instagram and I was like, okay, all I want to do is share everything that I'm feeling and thinking. That's all I want to do. But I don't know, do people do that? Should I do that? Should I not? And everyone's looking for the should you or should you not. And it's not a should you or should you not. It's you interviewed Jason Phillips too. he doesn't even use Instagram that
Yeah.
much. He has like 16,000 followers and makes like a couple million bucks a year.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go that route.
Yeah.
But if that's your strength, and if you don't know that's your strength, but you just feel like an internal pull and a calling,
Yes.
you have to spend some time stopping and listening. Okay, how does this feel? Does it feel congruent? Does it feel resonant? Does it feel like it will make me happy if I do this, or will I feel stifled if I don't, or will I feel stifled by doing a different situation? Like, I feel like it's, even though it might be difficult for me to have conversations in front of large groups of people and be in the expos, I feel like if I'm not doing that, I'm not stepping into my highest power, and I'm not leading with my gifts and my strengths, because I know that those are things that I need to work on in order to make the impact that I'm called to make in the world.
I love that. Okay. That is the most empowering message that we can really have. I really love you sharing that. Now, when it comes to somebody being able to have, maybe the word I could use is like the consciousness to be able to ask themselves those questions, or to truly feel and know the answer, how do you help somebody have that?
Have the consciousness?
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of questions. So asking the right questions. I think as podcasters, we're just like, what makes you most excited in life? Or like, what do you feel like you're missing right now? Or what do you feel like if your best friend were to describe you in 3 words, what would those 3 words be? Or if you were to think of 2 biggest themes in your life that have come up consistently, what would they be? And what are fun 5 facts about you? Like, I did this workshop with a friend of mine who teaches people how to be world-class speakers. Like, he's been a motivational speaker for 8 years, and one of the exercises was write down 5 facts about you think people don't know, and then 5 stories that have happened in your life. And when we spoke in front of the group, it was like 6 of us, and we told our facts and stories. We wrote them all down on a whiteboard, and then we circled and came up together of themes that consistently came up. So for me, my themes were like authenticity and identity, like who are you, and how are you being authentic, and how are you making an impact, like impact, or like freedom, or like whatever they are for you. We have to do a lot of digging and working, so I love investing in personal development, whether it's books, whether it's personality tests. It's a lot of like work. You can't just wake up and be like, I know who I am, because you do things naturally, I think, and you interact with people in a natural way, because it's like the way that your DNA is fucking hardwired. Like, you are this way for a reason. And sometimes, depending on the environment that we're in, the situation that we're in, we may consider those things a drawback, a negative, something to fix, something to work on. But in not knowing and not being conscious of what those things are, and realizing, like, I'm Amanda, I am typically quite introverted, but I do really well in situations like this. I love connecting and sharing with people. I feel like if I'm not doing that, I'm not in alignment with myself. This is my zone of genius. Like, if you aren't aware of that stuff yet, get aware of it. Work on it and read books, listen to podcasts, do personality tests, write down, things about yourself, ask and interview your friends and family. Like, what are some things that you've noticed about me that you think I do better than other people? And then take those and be like, okay, this is my thing. How can I make that work in my business? And how can I, pull on my strengths within what I'm doing, so I can always feel really good and in alignment.
Okay. Now, when it comes to sharing that, being authentic and being able to, oh my God, do you know what I mean? How do I get this out to the world right now? How do you help people put that together?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think what you put out to the world has a couple of different aspects to it. Obviously, there's the business marketing. Who is your ideal client? What is their problem that they have? What problem are you trying to solve? And how can you communicate that in a post on Instagram, a post on Facebook, or in a video, or in a podcast, right? So what is that stuff? Who are they? But how can you make it work for you? So someone like me, I love writing, and my written word is really strong, and my oral is getting there, but my written word is really strong. So if I have to go in a corner for a sec and then say okay, here's my problem for my client, but also what's the story that I have that relates to that?
As soon as you said that, I saw 2 circles and what's interlapping in those 2 circles.
What's interlapping? So what's the interlapping that's also you and them? So how can you connect with them, whether it's a story about a client, maybe you're not your ideal client and your ideal client is someone else, what's their story? Or maybe you were your ideal client. Maybe you're trying to train and teach people that are a step step or two behind you, that are a chapter or two behind you, so you can have stories about yourself specifically from those times. And then, you know, working on gathering those is just a matter of talking to people. It's just a matter of being asked questions. Like being interviewed is the easiest way to come up with your stories, because like, oh yeah, this happened and then that happened, and that's like a consistent thing that I talk about that was something that really shaped my life. Like, what is a pivotal moment for you? So those pivotal moments are the stories that you can add. So like teaching moment, story, metaphor, and perspective, and then, you know, call to action.
Love that. Okay.
So that's kind of the framework that I teach people in the beginning. Like, what's the hook? What's the thing people are wanting? And then how can you relate to them and connect with them because of this story? And that's going to be like, oh, I like you, like you, me too. Like that's how I feel. And then, you know, perspective or metaphor. So like, life is like a box of chocolates, so whatever it is, whatever the metaphor you're using is, And then calling them to action and like inviting them into your world. And inviting them into what you're doing so you can further help them.
Okay, when it comes to the framework of Amanda Bucci and how you thrive day to day, how do you perceive that? How do you look at what it is that you need to do to be the best you?
I love that question. So I've done a lot of work around that too over the last year. Just like, it's a question of like, how do you feel most in flow? And I think that, again, it's not just like, oh, I feel really in flow doing this, because when you're a solopreneur, you're pretty much doing everything. Like I was doing all my marketing, I was doing all my writing, I was doing all my video editing, I was doing all of my organizing, and I was, you know, hustling. You kind of have to get good at everything, unless you start outsourcing immediately, which whatever. But I think it's a real skill to get at least a little bit good at a little bit of everything in your business, so you know the way things work and how long it takes you. Like I know exactly how long it takes me to edit a video and exactly how to do it. So when I see someone else doing it, so again, I don't think you know immediately what you feel most in flow doing until you start realizing like what 20% of things are giving me 80% of my anxiety right now, and then what 80% of things are giving me whatever the opposite is, the flip version. So you have to really figure out, like for me, I've realized that things like being in my email, doing meetings makes me feel really drained and tired. Like I need to meet with my team, and I need to meet with everybody, and I need to like communicate and strategize, but I only do those on like Mondays. And then I also have Tuesdays for just video creation. But I also like, if I'm gonna be creative on Tuesdays, I like doing a morning workout. So I can feel a little bit more energized. So it's almost just like, okay, I like being creative, and I like to talk, and I like to podcast. I have a whole day just for podcasting, networking, connecting with people. And then, you know, Wednesdays are my like alone time, writing time. I feel like I'm so in flow personally when I'm sitting down writing, because I'm an introvert, right? So naturally, introverts are really good alone. You do your best work alone. You get so much more done if you're being productive. Writing things, like if I'm just sitting down and journaling alone, like there's no other human body to interact with or worry about, even if we're not talking.
Totally. Just not in the space.
It's not in the space. And that's where I'm like, idea. But some people aren't like that. Some people need to be communicating to get those ideas. So you really have to just try a lot of things. Like you have to work and experiment and enhance skills and try this, try that, until you really get it. Like I've done literally everything, almost.
That's great advice. Really good. Okay, what is the one thing that you want the viewer right now to do today?
It's a tough question. One thing I want the viewer to do today, like a practical thing or like a mindset thing?
You choose.
Okay.
Well, choose one of each.
Okay, so I think a mindset thing, I want you to, or maybe this is both actually. So maybe you have an idea in your head of what your ideal client really wants, and pretend that your ideal client is your best friend, and then record a voice memo of you giving her advice. Or him, or whatever. And then transcribe the voice memo exactly. Because I think casual writing is so powerful, casual but powerful. So you're giving them advice in the way that you would speak to your best friend. Like, girl, I know that you're struggling with this. I see you doing it every single day. But since I've seen you doing this every single day, I'm noticing this about you. And I think that if you just switch this around a little bit, it could really, really, really help you. And I would love to help you do that. Like, if you were just communicating with your audience in that way, rather than, hello, I know that you are upset about your fitness. It goes from robotic to personal. And it goes from, Guard up to like, oh my gosh, you get me. I feel like you're my best friend. So I would do that voice memo tactic and try it and see how it feels for you. So you can get a feel for what casual writing is like, and you can get a better feel for how it would connect with an audience member if you wrote like that.
I totally love that, Amanda, because I feel like way too many people are trying to put their teacher hat, their guru hat, their let me teach you everything sort of hat on, and it's coming off a bit disingenuous. It's coming off a bit preachy almost as well.
Yeah,
And what I love about what you post and what you put out into the world, it's so relatable because you're doing exactly that.
Yes.
Okay, where does everybody learn more about Amanda?
Definitely go check out Bucci Radio if you like the podcast and you want to hear more from me. Podcast is Bucci Radio. And then Instagram is my main thing, Amanda Bucci on Instagram, and then amandabucci.com for all my other stuff.
Okay, I'm going to pop all the links to make sure. So I do highly recommend, please go and subscribe to Bucci Radio because you will be pleasantly surprised with everything that's coming as well. And Amanda's Instagram is absolutely phenomenal, so do get a part of that and the website as well.
Thank you for having me.
This is where I want to make sure that you get the most out of being here, and I want to hear from you. So if you've enjoyed this episode, click like and make sure I can send you the new episodes each and every week. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Also, I really want to make sure that I'm giving you exactly what you need. So comment below. I want to know what you're going to take away from this episode. And the best conversations after every episode always happen in the Brayton Success Tribe. I'll pop a link below for you to join the free group so you get access to the guides, the live streams. I'm in there answering your questions personally each and every day. Plus you get all the episodes as well. So thank you so much for being here and joining us. I'm really looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.